when you make mistakes, laugh at yourself, correct yourself. Those are all the same things you guys have been doing for years. I mean, I can guarantee none of you have done a perfectly polished sales meeting across the table from somebody and not made a single mistake. So why are you waiting for your video to be perfect with no mistakes? You want to relate with them, you would relate with them face to face. And they get to know you better. They get to know your humor better. Good to see some new faces. I know a lot of people had conflicts and requested the video, so I appreciate you guys allowing us to do that so we can share with more in the future. But I'm super excited about today because of the value of video marketing and the impact that it's made on our business. And I know from the advisors that I've been working with on a regular basis, video has literally transformed their business and their ability to connect with people. And so that's why we wanted to talk about getting to a place where we're comfortable with creating video content and 7 different ways at which you can use that content. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Let's kick it off because we have a lot to unpack in an hour and I want to be respectful of your guys' time. And so going into the 7 marketing best practices for financial advisors. 1, use video across multiple channels. And what I mean by this is you can create one piece of content and turn it into some last minute arrivals and turn it into over 50 pieces of content from a single video. And I'll show you a company that we use that has absolutely transformed the way we do social media here in a moment. But what I mean by that is you can do a video, especially if you learn the art of storytelling, which the last 3 weeks we've been teaching about how to develop your founder story so that you can connect with people so that they fall in love with you. They learn to like, know, trust you. And when you tell the right powerful founder story, it accomplishes just that. So we've been working on that last 3 weeks, but there is an extension of that storytelling and especially telling your stories, your client stories, your personal story, your why story. People they don't want to listen to somebody talk about financial strategies and explain financial strategies. Not yet. What they want to do, because they can just Google that. And almost any information we could teach on in a video can be Googled, and there's probably 15 different videos to choose from. What you really want to accomplish is making that connection where they enjoy listening to you, they feel connected to you. And so that's why it's so important, 1, to develop a founder story, but also extend that out into storytelling. If you're going to explain a strategy, put it in a story so that people can relate to the story and ask themselves, do I fit in that story? Do I relate to that story? Is that something that I've worried about that could be solved, like the story that was told by Mark or Terry? And if they relate to the story, it's going to anchor their emotions in wanting to reach out to you because you're the one who told the story about helping somebody through a similar circumstance. So that's the power of storytelling and why as advisors, we have to get our heads out of graphs and numbers and charts and strategies and really connect with people on a relational level. And if we're going to talk about the strategies, try and figure out a way to put it in a story so they can relate. That's the art of storytelling and why video is so powerful. The other part is, it's just human nature. People connect face to face, even if it's virtual, substantially greater than they do audio, which is exponentially greater than written text. So when we look at, hey, if we're gonna take the time to sit and write an email, why not just turn your camera on, lean it up against the wall like the kids do doing TikToks, if you're familiar with that. I've had to endure that the last 8 years with my kids. You know, they'll lean it up on a tree branch and record themselves doing a video. And quite frankly, that's the future. People just turning on an iPhone, which now has cameras that are better than DSLR cameras that we all used to use. People just get a good iPhone or a good Android phone and they lean it up against something in a room that has some decent lighting and just hit record. We'll start with, this is our webinar that we just did 2 weeks ago. Okay, so we had to teach this anyways. I think we've all taught some sort of live event at one point or another, right? Has anybody felt like they've delivered an hour-long presentation and not made a single mistake and didn't have a single or ah or a correction in a statement you made? Right, so don't stop worrying about that on digital as well. Just go for it and just enjoy the process. Laugh if you have to, correct yourself if you have to, and just keep it as authentic to your personality as you would if you were one-on-one with somebody. Problem with curated content. It's no different than if somebody wanted to just do a Google search, and usually when it's curated, they're giving that same content out to thousands of other advisors to use the exact same content. It does nothing to connect the viewer to you. And the goal of social media is to be social. It's not meant to educate people, it's meant to be social, to develop relationships and connections. And so that's why nothing is more powerful to do that than video. And then audio, then combine it with text. And it creates, and that makes it a high value post. Oh, I numbered them wrong. That's really step 3, connect your audience through video. We talked about a lot about this already, so I won't kind of belabor this particular issue. But connecting with your audience, the #1 method, proven method by all kinds of research studies, and I didn't have time to bring them all up and didn't think we could fit them in today, but storytelling is the absolute face-to-face, one-to-one storytelling, as if you're sitting across the table with somebody, is the highest converting content that you could push out on any platform, including email, text message, voice drop. And again, either you can post stuff with a link to go to your blog. So if you have to do it in text, you can send them somewhere to watch a video or a larger portion of it. You can put it on a landing page. Many of you are using the software Better Automate, and include closed captions. This is just kind of a side thought that I wanted to make sure I mentioned. Can somebody tell me why it's so important to put closed captions?
Might be at work.
Okay.
You don't want the audio playing.
Okay. When you scroll through LinkedIn, does it autoplay the video with volume in your newsfeed?
Nope.
So, but it does play. The video starts, but it doesn't do it with audio unless you actually click on the post. So if you want to catch somebody's attention and you have a strong opening story, if they're scrolling past it and the captions begin, you can grab their attention with the captions because they can read what you're saying, then get them to click on the post, then listen to you tell the rest of it. Use animated videos as awesome infographics. So when you're trying to teach something, it's so much more engaging. 1, you can put it in a story, but 2, you can create video with infographics that make it a little bit more palatable. Here's an example of a video. I made this video I had one really big case we've been working on, like $85,000 commission. We've been working on it for 6 months, but the guy could not wrap his head around how policy loans worked for an IUL. And so I thought, man, I have to close this case. I'm going to create an explainer video and hopefully it'll make sense to him then. And so this is an example of one of the videos that we did. And consequentially, I didn't intend, I put it on our YouTube, but I didn't intend for it to get a lot of views. But notice it got 7,376 views And that was not my intention when I created this video. It was just to try and close a case. And if you want animation, maybe I'll even, animation software, if you're looking for animation software, it's pretty easy. It's you know, literally click and drag and drop. Like you go through their image gallery, you drag it, you drop it, you choose which pen you want to draw it, and then you create a voiceover on top of it. It creates the video, and then you create the narration by hitting their record button while it plays, and then it produces the video for you. Moving on, show authenticity and personality. I think I touched on this in the beginning, so I don't want to belabor the issue, but again, I encourage people to be their self. Case studies and testimonials, excuse me. So this is super powerful, although it's hard to get a testimonial from a client. It's hard to get a review with a few sentences, let alone a video testimonial. But if you can do it, there's nothing more powerful beside your founder story. I can take those 50 pieces of content and every 6 months redeploy them. With those 50 pieces of content, we also built out a 12-week email drip campaign. I can reuse that every 6 months. I can relaunch that campaign because 6 months from now, it'll be different people who will see it. What changed my business forever and allowed me to transition into coaching more than just my advisor team here in Southern California was the power of using virtual assistants. Virtual assistants, I choose to use, I built my VA team in the Philippines. I do that simply because I've done this for 25 years. I've done marketing. And all of the VAs I've used in the Philippines consistently have higher loyalty, better English, better values from the standpoint of I have very rarely been burned by a Filipino VA. So their sense of values are higher, and they're pleasers. They want to impress you. So that's just my aside. We do have virtual assistant services with trained VAs. If you feel like you want to buy back your time or things that you don't know how to do and you don't want to learn how to do it yourself, then delegate it out to somebody who does. And they love it, and they're eager to do it for you for a compensation that we could never get here in the United States. So I encourage you, build a team to help you do the things you're too intimidated to do. The only thing you can't delegate out, it's the takeaway, and we'll wrap up, is your ability to tell your own story. You cannot delegate that out. And the resources, if you want to know about cameras or microphones or any of that other tech equipment, you can email me as well, Robert at Advisor Marketing Hub. I'd be happy to send you the kit we recommend. Did I cover everything that well?
You're a good teacher.
I'd be shocked. I think I've done all the talking and it hasn't been collaborative enough.